Cash and carry special, 1 3/4 total weight with 14-karat gold woman's ring for only $9.99 cash at the King of Diamonds. How does he do it?
I'm the king. I'm making you an offer you can't refuse. Watch Mad Sports for the next half hour, or else without hesitation you'll be wiped away when the world is ruled by us, leaders of the new world order in sports. Mad Sports, that is. Hey, my people, Coolio with the flow, Mad Sports style. Oh, yeah, we got the gridiron's finest represented today. Minute by minute, Mad Sports merges history and greatness. We've seized the moment for you, the fan, our most precious resource. Check it. This season, the Broncos went on a hell of a rodeo ride through the AFC, and once again, the Mile High squad rode into the victorious sunset. The key assassin, Terrell Davis, is in the zone. You've heard all the on-the-field stories, but TD gives Mad Sports stories from the heart. You'll be surprised. Plus, we reel it back to a special place with Jerry All-World Rice. His high-flying act has graced the reels for many years. Stay and catch Jerry's pass on being MVP at Super Bowl 23. Oh, there's more. Blazing in the spotlight is Denver Bronco lineman Neil Smith. This brother waited 11 years to get a ring, and the memories are bittersweet. You'll see. The youngsters are represented well by a young man from Maryland. And we'll give a little salute to this year's NFL's Hall of Famers. All that mad action coming your mad way. Next. Mad shout-outs to all you Mad Sports fans. Shay, Monty, Malachi, and 1-9. Okay, put your hands up for Jeremiah Watts, a senior defensive end for Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Maryland. My man's reading the play quite well. His tenacious play on the gridiron this season resulted in 121 tackles and 24 sacks. Mad applause for our Generation Next representative coming right at you. What?
It's like after I've been getting all this attention, I done came a whole lot more popular in school. It seems like everybody knows who I am. I tried baseball, and I was all right, but truthfully, I wasn't that good at baseball. I could never hit the ball, honestly. So I struck out a lot. I tried basketball, and then once again, I wasn't too bright in basketball. So then I tried football, and at first I wasn't that like talented in football, honestly, when I first started, but I liked it. So I sort of stuck with that. And then after the years, I started to really develop as a football player. My main push is to play football. Really, it had to be my mom, because I wasn't really thinking about playing no sports, actually. She actually suggested it to me. And I was a little hesitant about it at first, but then I just decided to give it a shot. And I'm glad I did, though, because it's like everything next to, church and family and school is football. Working out has definitely helped me. It seems like in the off season I make tremendous strides, because I know when I first started off, when I ended high school, I know, like you might have read in the essay, I was only, 105, no more than 110 pounds when I first entered my freshman year. And so that off season, right after football season, because I played for Lanham Boys and Girls Club, that football season after that, I stayed in the weight room. I tried to read all the nutrition books and stuff I could to sort of get that stuff down. Since I paid more attention to God and studied His Word and stuff, I mean, He's taken me to places where I didn't even imagine I would be from many years ago. I never thought I'd be in the situation I am now. I'm looking right now just towards the Ivy Leagues, and then the only other Ivy League school I was looking at was Georgetown. So basically, I'm more pushed to go towards academics, because I know I have to look out for my well-being after college, just in case I got hurt or anything like that. So I chose the academic side. And so, I mean, it's very time demanding, but I guess like now looking back, it's definitely worth it, because now I have the schools that I have to choose from. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Keep your grades up, bruh. Education first, and keep your eye on the prize, like our next man did. Neil Smith is a veteran with 12 years of battle scars to prove it. As a Kansas City Chief and Denver Bronco, he's led a fascinating and compelling life with some cool stories. Neil shares some of those moments, and he's not simmering, he's blazing in the spotlight.
I get a phone call in my room the night before the draft, and lo and behold, it was Al Davis from the Raiders, the owner and general manager, president, CEO, whatever you want to call him, the man. And, you know, coming from Nebraska, you know, all that cold weather, and, you know, and all of a sudden you get a call from a guy that's got the team in California, like, oh, man, you know, the beaches, and someplace I've never been, and I really got hyped because the guy told me, he said, don't worry about it, you're my man tomorrow, you'll be a Raider, this and that, and I was like, well, that's cool, you know. And I get up and called everybody and said, hey, you know, I'm going to be a Raider. I talked to Al Davis, he's going to pick me second, this and that. And then I get on the podium, and they hands me a Kansas City Chiefs helmet. Then I'm confused because, you know, in a draft, there's a lot of things that happen. I mean, you're on the time clock. And they traded their way. You know, they traded to Oakland that, you know, Oakland traded with Kansas City, the spot or whatever, and then they picked me to come there. And we, you know, we put the perfect game together to beat a great Green Bay team. And I think that they underestimated that some of the players did, and I think the media pretty much know that there was a hands-down win, another NFC win. All these things is built up on you. You hear it. It was all about them. It wasn't about us. No one's seen or really sit down and say, okay, Denver got a chance because Denver beat a great Jacksonville team at home. And then he had to go on the road and beat a great Kansas City team that plays very well at home in the playoffs. And then turn around and go to Three Rivers in Pittsburgh and play a Pittsburgh Steelers team that's the hottest team in the league and beat them. And now we in the Super Bowl game. We playing on a neutral site and a neutral team, and we don't get no respect. And I think that our team just took that to advantage for us to go out and to win that Super Bowl game. When that game was over, you know, I raised my hand and thanked the Lord and say, you know, Lord, thank you. I finally did it. And then right at the same time, then the ring came to mind. I'm gonna finally get a ring, you know, and it was awesome. I can remember my rookie year was playing against the Denver Broncos when I was in Kansas City, and Tony Dorsett was still in the league. Tony Dorsett run a sweep to my side, and I makes this hit on him, and I looks down, and I'm like, man, that's TD, that's Tony Dorsett, you know. And all in college say never help a guy up that you hit. I reached down and helped TD up, and this, when I looked, I helped him up and looked him in his eye, and he walked away and said thanks. And I was like, I was a kid all over again because I've watched Tony Dorsett over all my years, you know, do the running for Pitt, and then goes there, you know, for the Dallas Cowboys and just be this one run that I can never remember, I can never forget. It's a Monday night game. He took it 99 yards, and, you know, he was just my man. I mean, I really respected him, and when I made that tackle on him, I just felt like a really super fan. They had a little testing center, if I can recall, in Louisiana that they sent me to get tested about it. And they found out what was actually the problem. The hardest thing of the whole thing, if I could look at it, is the fact of having it, and I think teachers really thought that I was like lazy, and I really didn't know, you know, how to read. I really had problems seeing it and seeing words backwards and all these things, and I can recall that it was very frustrating, and I can understand how kids go through this life, you know, having the same problem that I've had and hiding it, and you know, but if they hear it from me coming out to them, then I think that it can be, you know, it could be a different form, because this is why I go to them and speak to them and saying that, you know, you never give up your hope or your dreams because you have a problem. You know, someone label you, quote unquote, of being, you know, a special education or having a learning disability, because I overcame that. I was just like you and hit it for a long time. Well, it was hard for me to leave because, you know, I did so much for the city of Kansas City, and, you know, I got active in the community. I've grown to like it because I met my wife and my family there, and everybody, and, you know, my kids are, you know, was born there, and just to leave it all, you know, just saying that it was all over. That really, really bothered me because I felt like it was a place that I really wanted to finish my career up, which, you know, I didn't have too many more years, but then they made a decision, you know. They had to make a really key decision on who do you want to keep in Kansas City, whether, you know, Derek Thomas or Neil Smith. And I think that it didn't shock me that the answer was, you know, to keep Derek because I was there before Marty Schottenheimer and Carl Peterson was actually in Kansas City. They drafted Derek #1. They picked Derek Thomas. That was not shocking to me because how would it look if they would let Derek go and keep Neil and they never drafted me? They make themselves look bad because they drafted Derek. And to leave there really hurt me because I was leaving all my friends. I was leaving all my friends. I was leaving a lot of guys that I've been to war with and you know, helped raise and been close and really always felt like we had what it takes to win a Super Bowl.
Mad Action will be right back. Don't be happy, worry. Hey y'all, Coolio here. The Mad Flow continues. BET Sports has been around for about 15 years. And we've had a lot of conversations with some phenomenal athletes. And the gentleman in this edition of Real Sports is quite a representative of that. He is the man, the myth, and the legend all wrapped up in one real MVP package.
At Super Bowl 23, a young man named Jerry Rice received the Most Valuable Player awards.
Shoot, Cousin Jerry, he's ridiculous, man. He is ridiculous.
I received so many letters from the Big Ten, but no one came out to talk to me face to face. And, you know, when the coach came up from the Valley, that made my mind up. It has to be education first, then football second. I went because
In 1984, no other team, whether it be high school, college, university, or professional football, was running the run and shoot. Jerry Rice, Willie Totten, and that group of guys. We got together and we started doing things, moving people out, being a defensive mind. I knew that if you did certain things, defense had to adjust to that.
You know, at first I thought, okay, these guys are crazy. There's no way you can run an offense without a tight end. But we had so many good receivers that it was really hard to cover.
Tell me about your quarterback, Willie Totten. I mean, what was that combination like, Rice and Totten?
We had a very good chemistry. Willie Totten, he was a very quiet guy. You know, he just took complete control.
Okay, Jerry was the only single receiver. So once I looked over and saw Jerry was the only single receiver, I said, I'm going to Jerry right now. I dropped back, and it was a heavy rush. They blitzed us that time. And I dropped back, and I just seemed like, looked like to me, I just let the ball go. And I just let it go. And at the time, they hit me. And I was laying on my back, and actually I could see the ball like floating in the air. Jerry split the guy that was covering him and the free safety. The ball, like, the guy was coming from this, the free safety was coming in. The guy was on Jerry this way, and he split both of them. Went right, the ball landed right here, right in his hand. He caught it right there.
I think it was just learning the offense. You know, it's so complex. You have so many audibles, you have so many adjustments, and it took time for me. When I first came in, you know, I wanted to be like an impact player. I wanted to just jump right in and help the team to win, and it didn't happen that way. You know, I had some drops, and it was very difficult, but I really worked my way out of it.
You were the MVP, 11 receptions, 200 yards receiving. What stands out in your mind the most in that day?
Just being on that football field, knowing that 100 million people watching you, you know, people from Valley State really
Presenting the most convenient way to pay for gas. Mobile Speed Pass. Just wave this key tag in front of the pump once, and it automatically builds a credit or check card that you already have. Speed Pass is convenient, free, and only at Mobile. There's no pulling money or cards out of your wallet. Speed Pass, because there are some things you don't want to miss. Call toll-free 1-877-MY-MOBILE.
Grand cinnamon rolls from Pillsbury.
Get ready.
The most enormous, ooey gooey, luscious.
Should we wake the others?
Let them sleep.
Grand cinnamon rolls.
They're not just big, they're grand.
The reason I wrote the book was, number one, was to let people know that I'm human like everybody else. I have flaws in my life. I have situations where, I was arrested. I had situations where I went through some times with death, my best friend and cousin, my father, a lot of friends that I grew up with. So it was just to show people this is Terrell Davis, but the same token that I'm human like everybody else. People make mistakes, and I want people to, when they read the book, to recognize that even if you do make mistakes, you can still come back and and adjust your life. Your life ain't over. And so that was one reason for putting the book out. Secondly, people look at me like I'm some angel, and they don't think I have anything, like I've never did anything bad. And so when people think of you like that, somebody's gonna pry and try to find something negative about you. So I figured, hey, why let somebody go ahead and put something in the newspaper or out in public on their terms? I might as well get it out on my terms. Growing up and as a child, I think I went through a lot. But looking back on it, but when you're a child and you're going through this stuff at the time, you never think about, you think everybody's life is the same. You think every child is experiencing the same things that you're experiencing. My father was just a man. He expressed tough love to us. That was his whole thing, was the fact that my father didn't want us growing up to be any type of chump. I mean, you're in my neighborhood, you had to have weapons, and that was just the bottom line. When you walked home, we would basically get jumped every day. We had to fight every time we walked home from school. And one time I ran home because my brother was going to do a fight. I went home to get my father. I got a whooping, So it was just the things that he kind of instilled in us, and his whole thing was tough love. And, the incidents where, he pulls the gun out. I don't know. I didn't think that was, at that time, I didn't think that was abnormal. I thought it was something that, fathers do. But looking back at it now and hearing stories from other players and stuff like that, and other people, it wasn't normal. But the same token, my father was a man that I loved dearly. And I still don't have any type of different feelings for him. I still love him, to this day. And a lot of times when you get on a bad trail and you just continue to just keep going downwards, and a lot of times you don't think there's anybody to help you. You don't think that there's any light at the end of that tunnel. So at that time, I said, look, things in my life really weren't going that well. So I decided to go ahead and go change schools first of all, because the work I was doing at Morris was, I basically had F's across the board. And my life was going nowhere. So I decided to just go ahead and change schools, start playing sports again, which really helped me concentrate, keep my grades up. When people are out on the streets after school playing or messing around, running around the streets, I was at practice. So it kept me focused. I had to go home and study. So I had a routine, and that really helped me change my life around. There's a lot of players on my team who I thought were very talented, who should be in the league today. And they experienced the same thing. I think the only thing about this was the fact that I'm one of maybe 20 players who kind of snuck through the cracks of someone trying to really keep you, a coach who really didn't support his players, really didn't talk to the scouts about, maybe you should give this kid a chance. I had a coach telling the scouts that I wouldn't waste a draft choice on him. I wouldn't waste this on him. He's all right, but he's not a NFL type back. And he said that about a number of players. So I think I'm the only one who fortunately had a chance to sneak through the crack. And I think my voice speaks for a lot of players there. He had just started the season, and I came down, sat in my locker, and John had walked in. I hadn't seen John because he didn't go to preseason camps. So I'm sitting in my locker. John walks by. He walks up to me, introduces himself to me. So right there when he shook my hand, I was just like, whoa, this is John Elway. Like, he sat down. I got up, ran to the phone, called my friend. Man, guess who I just met? I think that was one of the greatest moments. And then the other one was when we first started the Buffalo game, and Mike called me up to his office and told me I was starting that week. I couldn't believe that. Here I am, this rookie, first game of the season. Mike calls me up and tells me, hey, we just promoted you to starter. I couldn't hold it in. I was just like this. My smile was huge. My mother is really my, it's from that one song, The Wind Beneath My Wings, and my mother's definitely that. My mother's been really the main and the only reason why I've been doing what I've been doing. I mean, I try to make my mother proud of me. My mother is the love of my life, and I love her dearly. And for me, I think to make her proud and happy of me and to go out there and want to say, this is my son, I mean, that just keeps me going.
Yo, I promised you a mad cool show, and you got one. Well, as we part ways until next week, let's check out the 1998 NFL Hall of Fame inductees list and some highlights from Magic Johnson's Super Bowl weekend fashion show. Check out Mad Sports every Saturday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern. It's Coolio with the Mad Flow signing off. Same mad time, same mad channel. Peace, y'all.